Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Alexis and today I'm going to be sharing all of the books I'm hoping to unhaul, a Pangobooks Purge if you will. But essentially Pangobooks, if you don't already know, is currently a US only based app and website where people can resell their books. They can range from used condition to new condition and whatnot. So yeah, definitely check that out. My link for the shop is in the description box down below. But with that being said, let's get into the video. The first two books that I have here are Dark Fever and Blood Fever. These books are by Karen Marie Moning. I have yet to try anything by this author. These are paranormal romances. I just don't feel an urge to pick them up, at least not anytime soon. So chances are, if it ever becomes available on my library, then I will be looking that way. Next few books that I have are by Grace Draven. Here is Entreat Me. This is more so a Beauty and the Beast situation. The man and his son are cursed, whereas the female main character and her sister are their love interests. So it's two couples, two brothers, two sisters, and two romances. So that was an interesting aspect in here. This does have a crease down the middle of the spine. However, I do have this available now on my library, so I don't feel the need to keep it anymore. I also have Radiance and Eidolon. I did give my reviews previous months, so feel free to check that out. And it's also in my Goodreads, as is every book that I read now. But yes, I am selling these ones together because these follow the same couple. These are the first two books in the Wraith Kings series. Third book is out as well, but that follows a different couple. These ones can be read by themselves. Next, I have some contemporary romances. Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. This is supposed to be more of a rom-com with some suspense. I haven't picked it up yet. I'm still kind of interested, but I'm in no rush. So if someone does end up buying this before I read it, I'm not going to be mad. I also have The Love Con by Ceresia Glass. This is supposed to be, from what I understand, a romance between two cosplayers. That is what was described to me. Again, I didn't pick this up. I just haven't been interested in picking it up, and it's been on my shelves for a couple seasons already, and I haven't been having the urge to pick it up later on. So if someone else does end up picking this before I read it, that is fine as well. I do have a Kennedy Ryan book on here, but it's only because it got a little messed up in the shipping, and I'm very nitpicky about my new books. So I am selling this one, Be Mine Forever. This is book 3 in the Bennett series, and it was the first series by Kennedy Ryan. There are 4 books in that series. I already have books 1 and 2. My intention is to get a hold of book 3 and 4 eventually. This edition I am trying to part with. I have a Pepper Winter book here, Indebted number 5, Fourth Debt. This author I've never tried, and apparently this is part of a series. I did thrift this, but then after realizing it's part of a series, I lost interest, so someone else can have this one. And then I have Truth or Dare by Danielle Allen. I did read this already. It's a novella, single perspective, only from the female main character's point of view. It's friends to lovers. They had a fling, and then afterwards they keep seeing each other during this get together with friends on a yacht. So it's cute, but I'm not inclined to keep a novella, so someone else can enjoy this one. I have The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I did enjoy these. These are mentioned in a previous video about just these books. In my opinion, these are rom-com, but with STEM. So STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. I enjoyed these, gave them both 4 out of 5 stars. But again, I don't feel inclined to keep them. I don't see myself revisiting them. So hopefully someone else will find more joy in these. And, you know, being like Marie Kondo, if it doesn't bring you joy, part. It's time to rehome them. I have Donut Fall in Love by Jackie Lau. Never read by this author, but my library does have other books by her, so I'm hoping to get to those. This I'm just not pushing myself to pick up at the moment. Dial A for Auntie, the sequel for this, is already out. Something with wedding in the title. I haven't picked this up yet. Maybe I'll still get to this, but I did already list it in my Pangobooks because, again, if someone else finds joy in it, that's fine by me. And the last contemporary romance I have, If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy. This book, aside from it being very much Cinderella, I just haven't picked it up. It does have a bookmark in here. Looks like someone left their bookmark. I did thrift this at the time of purchase, so hopefully someone else will find joy in it. And now we're going to get into all of the historical romances that are already listed on my Pangobooks. Since most of these I haven't read yet, I'm just going to be showing what they look like, if they have a step back. But if I have already read them or have feedback about said book, I will be sharing that as well. I have 2 books by Joan Johnston. Here is Maverick Heart, has the step back, and Captive. I am selling these together as a bundle because, again, they are by the same author and they give off the same vibes to me. I have not read these yet, but maybe someone else will find joy in them. Then I have 3 Amanda Quick books that I'm trying to part with. Dangerous, Surrender, and Rendezvous. I do have an edition of Gone with the Wind. I did watch the movie recently and now I'm just not even interested in picking this up. It follows Confederacy and Confederate characters. I don't care. I don't care to read this. I have 2 books by Virginia Henley. First one is The Marriage Prize. This has medieval elements to it. Honestly, when I first got it, I thought it looked like fairies, but I was wrong. And then Seduced. This has a lovely 2-page step back. As I mentioned before, I have some books from the Bastion series by Stephanie Lawrence. I did try Captain Jack's Woman. I didn't enjoy it. I think I just don't, in general, like books that follow people on a ship or people who are captains of ships. I just don't care. But this one I did end up giving lower stars. It's just not for me, but I do have a duplicate of this as well. And that may eventually be separated with the full series, but this was a duplicate. And then I have duplicates of 2 other books from the same series. The Edge of Desire and Beyond Seduction. Wicked in Your Arms by Sophie Jordan. The Care and Taming of a Rogue by Susan Enoch. Along Came a Duke by Elizabeth Boyle. When the Splendor Falls by Laurie McBain. Petals on the River by Kathleen E. Woodowis. Forever Ashley by Laurie Copeland. Has a 2-page step back. Golden Fire by Kathy Jones. Wind Song. I did read this one a while ago. It follows the female main character who ends up being sent away in place of her sister, I believe, to get married. And the guy doesn't know her true identity, so this has to deal with identity situation. It does allude to some religious things. Didn't care for it. It can go. Terms of Love by Cheryl Hank. This has an interesting step back. Wildest Dreams by Jennifer Blake. Lovely step back here. My Sweet Folly by Laura Kinsale. Heaven Knows by Elaine Kaufman. Beautiful step back. Orchids in Moonlight by Patricia Hagen. Desire by Phoebe Kahn. Savannah Heat by Kat Martin. Surrender the Stars by Cynthia Wright. Loving a Lost Lord by Mary Jo Putney. Return of the Rogue by Donna Fletcher. I did read this one and I did enjoy it, but my library does have the full series, so I just plan on reading it that way and someone else can have this copy. Angel Hunter by Anna Lee. Arizona Bride by F. Roseanne Bittner. Falcon on the Wind by Shelley Thacker. I did start this one. I got a couple chapters in. It's actually still tabbed, so I can remove that now. But I'm no longer interested in picking this up. Essentially, the male main character wants to get revenge on the female main character's husband-to-be, so he kidnaps her the day of the wedding, and this is supposed to be them falling in love along the way. I have 2 books by Kinley McGregor. That would be Master of Seduction and A Pirate of Her Own. These are part of the same series. I believe it's the Seawolves series. They can be read separately, of course, as to be expected from historical romances. And as implied, it follows love interests with pirates. I did read these. Don't care to keep them. Someone else can have them. I have 2 books by Cassie Edwards. Here is Rolling Thunder. And Wild Desire. I have 4 books by Joanna Lindsay. Love Me Forever. Surrender My Love. You Belong to Me. And Keeper of the Heart. Then I have 2 books by Amanda Quick. Tightrope and The Other Lady Vanishes. I believe this book comes before this one in the same series, but I only got a hold of Tightrope first, and I was very annoyed when I got it. So I have no interest in the rest of the series. These can leave. I have a couple duplicates by Teresa Medeiros. Touch of Enchantment and Breath of Magic. By Eloisa James, I have Kiss Me Annabelle. I did read this. It's the second in a series. I feel like it shouldn't have been read as a standalone, so I'm ready to part with this, and I have no interest in the rest of the series. Then by Tessa Dare, I have When a Scot Ties the Knot. This is part of a series, but I have no interest in the rest of the series. It just wasn't working for me, this story. I have a couple books by Lorraine Heath. Falling into Bed with a Duke and The Viscount and the Vixen. These books are from the Hellions of Havisham series. I do enjoy the series. They are available through my library, and these are not editions that I wish to keep. If ever, I would want the ones with the step back, but these ones can find new homes. I have some books by Julia Quinn. Splendid, I read, didn't care for. Just Like Heaven. This series is available through my library, and this, again, it does not have the step back, nor am I pushing myself to read this series, so I can part with this. And Brighter Than the Sun. This is also in a series, haven't started, don't have interest in it now, and it is available through my library. Never Seduce a Scot by Maya Banks. I did enjoy this book. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. There is another book that's already out that's part of this series. However, the 3rd one has been on hold for years, and I don't see myself being patient long enough. So this one can be rehomed. It is the first in the series. Destiny's Captive. This is from my favorite series by Beverly Jenkins. This is a duplicate. Honestly, I found this and I thought someone else would like to have it. So I have 4 books by Lisa Kleypas. Devil in Winter. I was able to get a hold of the version that has the step back, so this one can be rehomed. Tempt Me at Twilight. At this point, I do have to read this book next in the Hathaway series, but I am not interested in keeping this edition. Devil in Spring. This is from the Ravenel series. I have yet to get to the series, but I again have a duplicate. Stranger in My Arms. I wasn't too crazy about this. This was interesting, but not interesting enough to keep me satisfied. I have 2 books by Sarah McLean, Wicked and the Wallflower, and Daring and the Duke. These books are part of the same series, however, I was able to find nicer editions, but because these are step backs and they no longer make step backs, I thought someone else might be interested. When You Give a Rogue a Rebel by Jane Ashford, never read by this author. An Extraordinary Lord by Anna Harrington. The Lady Gets Lucky by Joanna Shoup. I've heard great things about this one, but it's the second in a series, and my library does have all of the books so far that are published, so I can part with this. 2 books by Kate Bateman, A Reckless Match, and This Earl of Mine. These books do come from different series. My library does have them available. I did read these ones already. Not really interested. The Duke Who Didn't by Courtney Milan. I did try starting this. I got almost 100 pages in. It's still tabbed. Maybe I'll give it a shot again, but right now it is listed on my Pangobooks, and if it's sold before I get to it, that's perfectly fine with me. And lastly, Gentle Rogue by Joanna Lindsey. I haven't read anything by this author yet, and this is considered one of her most widely known works, so someone else can add this to their collection. And those are all the books that I'm unhauling at this time. Let me know in the comments down below, are there any books that made my unhaul list that you also agree with, or are you interested in any of them? Let me know. I'd love to hear. If you are interested in getting any of these editions from me, feel free to check out my Pangobooks link in the description box down below. But until next time, my name's Alexis. Take care and happy reading.